Howdy folks, it's Dr. Earlier and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we're going to continue our Amazon bush trip from the latest world update. Halfway done so far. We're going to do legs 6 and 7 in this video, and that's the only introduction you get. I assume you've been watching the other videos leading up to this point, so let's keep going. Alright, parked us on the grass again, and the weather looks much nicer. The couple previous days that I've been flying, the weather's been rainy and stuff. It's been cool, it's been rainy, but it's different today. No more rain, and the clouds are starting to lighten up a little bit, which is great. There's this huge hill thing, plateau over there. That's interesting. More over there too, so it's not completely flat. Alright, cool. So yes, road weather is turned on. A little bit of rain there. And we'll keep it that way if we can. We've been able to fly completely with road weather for quite some time now with other bush trips too, so it's been nice. It's been nice. But anyway, like I said, this is, the middle of the video series here, so you probably know what's going on. So we're just going to start things up. We're not worried about procedure too much with the bush trips, and the reason for that is because if we started with a full procedure every single time, then half the video every time would be the startup process, and it would just take too long. So when it comes to bush trips, we just start the plane up and go for it. Not too worried about procedure. GPS is in here, but we have to tell it where to go, because it forgets when you leave and come back. Not always, just depends on the sim, or on the bush trip specifically. So here we are. We're headed towards user waypoint 18. So we need to go in the flight plan, and we need to tell it to go to user waypoint 18. Which is right down here. And we'll go direct. And yes, we'll activate that and put away the flight plan, and there we go. Now the GPS knows where to go. And we are headed to what in this leg? Sierra November, which is right here. Just one waypoint in between. So I think for this, we'll read a little bit, get here, read a little bit, and land. And then we'll do the next leg in this video also. But it's still quite a while, right? Yeah, half an hour. So that's still quite a journey to get there. So while everything's getting started up, is our plane running this time? It is. Good. Okay. Been having issues with it not actually running. Let's read about where we're going, and then sightseeing from there, and you'll see how it works if you haven't seen a video with me before. But why would you jump into the middle of a bush trip? Who knows? Maybe you have your reasons. But welcome back everybody else who's been watching all along. So here we go. The Amazon turned into a southeast course downstream of the Óbidos. Take off from the airport, follow the river, and gain visual on the Great Curio Lake, located to the southwest of the Amazon. That's this giant thing right here. Pass over the village, located on a low spit of land between the Amazon and the lake. Not a peninsula or sandbar, a spit of land. So we're going to fly here and look for the little village. When we get to a little village, then we'll read about the next part of this leg, which I was going to say little leg. It's not a little leg. It's half an hour, which is, I think, a good time. When they get to be longer than half an hour, it kind of drives me crazy, but I don't have a choice. And funny, I say that because the next leg is 40, or after this leg, it's another short one, and then there's a 49-minute leg, and then the final two are an hour. But I'll cut that down. You don't need to watch all that. All right, here we go. One set of flaps down. Do we have a windsock to look at here, so I know which way to take off? Okay, it's kind of limp. Normally you don't want things to be limp, but in this case you do. I can't tell which way it's pointing, but it's just a light breeze. So I think we're just going to start right here and do a midfield takeoff that way, which is the wrong way, I think. But it works for us. All right, here we go. And yes, I repeat the same jokes over and over, and people don't seem to mind, so I can just keep doing it. All right, we are going to spool up. Oh boy. But is that enough runway to also get over the trees, though? It should be. We should be fine. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go here, like this, and turn, hit the brake a second, spool this thing up. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we have enough. Oh wait, one thing I forgot to do is get this set to autopilot, because I forgot we have autopilot back now. Let's set our autopilot 1,800 feet. That's been working well. And we'll hand fly out of here though. Let go of the brake. And see how this goes. It's getting light already. That's okay. Oh boy. Do we have enough runway? Come on, rudder. Work. Oh boy, forward rudder can barely stay because the wind is... No, wind is in our favor, but not fully. Okay. that worked just fine. Brakes to stop the wheels. Let's climb a little bit. We'll take flaps out here in a second. Ooh, let's not hit those trees. And flaps coming in. Yes, flaps can come in. And let's make our turn to the right. Let's get out of here. Head back on track. Step on the ball, which is the dash on a glass cockpit. Coordinate that turn a little bit better. There we go. Straighten out. Nice. Very nice. Alright, let's keep hand flying a minute here. And we'll engage autopilot in a minute. We don't normally hand fly on bush trips because then I have to be in the cockpit the whole time. And it's hard to get sightseeing shots and I ramble too much because of everything I'm doing. So that's why we use autopilot for videos. Otherwise I'd hand fly a lot more. I'm just enjoying the town on these hills here. I would definitely hand fly a lot more if I were making content. Alright, let's keep climbing. Ready for that purple line. Autopilot, nav, vertical speed 500 feet per minute. Sure, that works for me. Okay, so there you go. We're back in the air. Very, very straightforward. I don't have much more to say, so you get a good chunk of sightseeing here. What is it? Another 10 minutes for me. I'll make it like 2 or 3 minutes for you. And I'll keep an eye on things. And how much fuel do we have? We got plenty of fuel. Alright, there you go. Enjoy the sights along the way, and I'll see you at the little village on the spit of land. Alright, time to look for a village on the spit. Spit of land. There it is, that big like peninsula thing that divides the river from a lake. This is really gorgeous though. I'm kind of glad the weather got cloudy again. It really makes this an interesting bush trip, doesn't it? Because if we did this whole thing with clear skies, it would get boring pretty quickly, I think. That being said, things have changed. It went from purely rainforest and dense, which I enjoyed, to something that was more open and like this, which I wasn't enjoying as much. But now I'm enjoying it again because it's really interesting how this river is so wide, plus the lakes, plus the other rivers, plus the clouds. So very different than how it started, which is fantastic. Oh, there's your village right there. There we go. We spotted it. Alright, let's read about what's next then. Landing 13 minutes away. We're going to land for this leg, continue along the river. 1,300-mile long river is a major tributary of the Amazon and joins the river from the south, gain a visual of the city, and land at the airport, which is Sierra Bravo, Sierra November. Alrighty, cool. See how easy this one is? Easy bush trip, easy leg, easy to watch. So there you go, a little bit more sightseeing. I didn't get you as much as I wanted to on the previous leg because somebody was distracting me at home, but hopefully for this little section you have more sightseeing, and I'll see you when it's time to land in about 12 minutes my time, 3 to 4 minutes for you. Alright, 2.5 minutes out, and I almost missed it because I've been sitting here listening to the beautiful rain sounds on the window, and they stopped. There were beautiful rain sounds on the window, I promise. They were there. Look at that rain over there. Oh my gosh, isn't that awesome? That is so cool. But we need to land an airplane. So, let's see. Wind wants us to come from the other direction, which is fine. So we'll fly over the airport and then make a U-turn and land, which will be just fine because it gives us more time to look around while we're stuck here in the rain. These isolated storms are so cool. Oh man, this is great. Yep, I enjoy this so much. I have no reason to get 2024, at least not right now, because I can run 2020 on my computer with all the settings cranked and all the detail and all this. On 2024, I probably can't get it to look half as good because I can't run it at high specs, high settings. So I'm enjoying this, including those reflections in the water. Alright, there's our airfield right there in front of us. Pretty easy peasy. And now the wind says to land this direction. So let's land this direction. This happened to us last time too, didn't it? Alrighty, well, let's start slowing down. We don't need to descend too much too soon here, but we will start our descent. And get flaps out in a moment. But after we land, don't go anywhere because we will do the next leg, leg 7, in this video. So we're doing leg 6 right now, and then we'll do leg 7 in a moment in this video, so don't go away. We are going way too fast. Way too fast. I don't know if I can bleed off that much speed. What we're going to do is we're going to level off to bleed off speed, and then we're going to slip it in. And yes, I'm going to slip it in with flaps. Flaps are not bad. Depends on the airplane, right? And you can argue that in the comments, which I've been seeing in every video. Argue in the comments if you want to slip it with flaps out. I've heard both ways and from professionals. Read the POH maybe. Is that radar? Weather radar right there? That's cool. But anyway, slip it in with flaps. You can put your mind in the gutter for that one if you want to, whatever. Alrighty, yeah, that's definitely like weather radar. That is so cool. That is super cool. We have one of those right by my house. You can see it everywhere you go. Alrighty, here we go. Our speed is great. I am still slipping it though. There we go. Out of the slip. Let's go a little more speed. We're dropping a little too fast here. Okie dokie, I really want to look at that radar thing, but there it is, and now it's gone. Alright, we gotta concentrate on this landing. Ooh, the wind changed yet again. Ooh, it's rough. Rough weather, love it. Love it. Don't hit those trees, and let's drop now. There we go, throttles back. And coming high and fast like a tail dragger, level off, and let it sink. Tease that stall horn, even though we don't need to, I just like to. Where are you, stall horn? And didn't need to stall. Alrighty, there we go. We didn't bounce. Reversers engaged on the brakes. Flaps coming up. And we will stop right here. Disengage reversers. Yoke all the way back. Set parking brake. And the reason why we're stopping here is because you can find a parking spot, but if you're not exactly where they want you to be, it often won't read as completing the leg. So we're going to stop right here and complete the leg because it always counts on the runway. We just have to wait for the props to stop spinning. Once those props stop spinning, it should bring us to the completion screen. And then we'll get going on the next leg here in just a second. And there it is. All right, next leg, leg 7 right now. And here we go, leg 7. Where'd my plane go? There it is. Leg 7. Let's get this started up. And just like before, we're not worrying about a process. Whoops. Because we just want to get everything started so that it runs and goes quickly. Okay, everything's good there. And it should go to the next one. Why isn't it? We'll see if it picks up the next one. Interesting. User 19. Anyway, where are we headed this time? We are headed half an hour away to Mike Alpha, which is way up here. So only one thing in between to look at here too. So for this leg, we're just going to read about both things, and then I'm going to let it fly and give you sightseeing, and then I can stop talking until we're ready to land. So quick, here we go. Santarém, after lifting off from where we are now, we head to the southeast and pass over the city. The city is today one of the most important businesses, financial, cultural, and tourism centers in the entire Amazon basin. Its port is a critical hub. It's located between the Manaus, where we started, and the Atlantic coast. The port is a vital logistical center for the numerous villages in the region and transport to many agriculture and other products in the area. The beaches are clear water, and the area has made Santarém renowned as a vacation destination. So there you go, right in the middle of the water, right there. No, right here. There's two to read, I guess. That's right away. Boom. And then we have this place in the middle on the island. There's another spit. Pass over a small group of low islands, then reach the great lake of Monte, Alegre, on the north side of the Amazon River. That's this area here. The large lake is an important source of fish for locals in the area. So we got a big city, big lake with some water, sandbar things, and then our airport up here. Turn to the northeast over the Great Lake and sight the city. The area is an important archaeological region that has revealed troves of information about pre-colonial societies in the Amazon. Land at the airport, located in the middle of the city. That's really cool, actually. And that's where we'll end the video, is when we get there. And then make sure you subscribe and notifications turned on so you know the next video drops, which will have the next leg. So legs 8, 9, and 10, I don't think I'm going to combine them. It might be 3 more videos. That's a lot of videos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos for a bush trip. I might combine 2 of them. We'll see. I'm getting way ahead of myself. We'll worry about that another day. So here we go. Let's go to the city, the lake, and then land the plane. Flaps down 1. Which run are we going to take out? Okay, so there's the limp thing there. Do you think if we go rogue and go across the land, if it'll count as a crash? Let's do that. Just to be silly. Come on. It's not working. It's doing the thing where it's not working. Yes, it is. There we go. That was strange. Okay. It's working now. We're going to cut through here. This looks like a road to me, right, for a bush plane. Just don't register as a crash. In 2024, there'd be rocks, and we run into those. But this is 2020, so we're just going to go right here, and we're going to take off before they get mad at us. And then we'll see how it goes. Real rudder's still turned on. There are those rainstorms to the left that we saw. And autopilot's still set up from before. Let's get out here. And let's roll. That was sloppy and I love it. Alright, cool. Here we go. Let's get out of here. Sloppy departure. That's fine. Actually, sloppy ground procedure. Departure isn't sloppy yet. Can we get in the middle? The wind is doing all kinds of funny things to us. Let's get up before we break those lights. That was weird. Brakes, stop the wheels. And GPS is not picking up our next waypoint properly. So, this it is. Just changed. Perfect. Okay, cool. Let's hand fly out of here a minute. Head over the city. Look at that little sandbar thing. Cool looking beach. Flaps are upright, yes. Looking back over the river. And here we go. You can climb steeper than that. That's what your Y is. VY. Here we go. Alrighty. Should we get autopilot so we can look around? Autopilot now. Vertical speed 1200 feet per minute. We normally don't go that steep, but we can. And let's let the airplane hunt. Even though it doesn't need to. That's so dramatic. You be dramatic. Why a vertical speed stop? You see that? That's weird. Huh. We have a ways to go yet to climb. Anyway. Not gonna worry about it. Not gonna worry about it. I should, but I'm not going to. There is our city that we're looking for before we head off to the big lake. And then after the big lake we'll land. So pretty straightforward stuff. The scenery has been changing a lot. It's gone from dense rainforest for several hours to more broken up areas, some islands, rivers meeting rivers. and then rain, isolated rainstorms. That is so cool. That is so cool. And we have this awesome city right below us with a big highway system. I honestly didn't realize there were cities with this kind of infrastructure in the Amazon basin. I feel dumb for not realizing that. But of course there's going to be big cities in the Amazon basin. Anyway, dangerous jungles though. Alright, so I don't know what that is, but it's interesting. So there's your city. Enjoy the sightseeing for a little bit. It's what, half an hour for me, only a couple minutes for you edited down, and I'll see you in a moment. Alright, 2.5 minutes until we land, which will also conclude the video as well. As far as wind is, we want to land towards the right from the left. If the wind doesn't change, that's what we'll do. Alrighty, do we see it out there? It's in the middle of the town. There it is right there. Can't miss it. So let's look around a little bit more together before we break out from autopilot. Incredible scenery. Look at that. I like the hills in the background too, and those are quite tall. So yeah, the scenery has changed a lot, which is great, because a few videos ago I think I said something how like 8 to 12 hours of the same dense forest in a river will get boring. Well, it has definitely changed. This is nothing like it was in the beginning of the trip. And I love that ridge right there. So there you go. Very awesome. And we got to break away from autopilot because it's trying to turn us to the next thing, which will be the next leg in the next video. So let's break away. And we'll head this way. And as soon as we come across the airport, we'll land. So let's give ourselves plenty of space to descend and slow down when the time comes. Otherwise, pretty straightforward. Pretty easy bush trip. Not the easiest. Things that make it difficult. The first runway was tricky compared to like paved runways, and the last runway will be tricky. But it's just finding these runways, airports in the dense forest near the beginning was kind of difficult. So it's not the easiest bush trip, but it's definitely an easy bush trip, I would say, if you know how to fly the plane and everything. Assuming you know how to fly the plane. Alright, we actually climbed a little bit for some crazy reason here, so let's descend, throttles back a little bit. And there you go. So we're on kind of a base leg here. A decently length final. I'm looking at that ridge now too. That's really cool. Beautiful scenery. I'm still fascinated by that thing. Not sure why. Alrighty, here we go. Let's lose some speed, lose some altitude, head into town, and fly towards the town. Land in the middle of the city, which is where the airport is. Nice long runway. Plenty of space to do our thing. First set of flaps. And second set of flaps. And we do need to lose a lot of speed, and we do need to descend. So let's slip it again. And we'll come down while we lose speed. Whoa, that's a pretty dramatic slip. I did not need to go like that, but it was worth it. It was fun. It was fun. Here we go. Come out of the slip gently. And let's gain our composure here. I'm not sure what happened, but could have been a little smoother. Alright. Watch our speed. Don't want to get too slow too soon. We're losing a lot of speed here. Don't know why we're losing so much speed. There we go. That was weird. We recovered. A little low for a tail dragger, but that's fine. So here we go. Coming in. And we'll tease the stall horn maybe. We don't need to, but it's fun to do that. So here we go. Let's tease the stall horn. Let it drop. Where are you, stall horn? Come on. I guess it's going to land instead. There we go. On the brakes, reversers engaged. Flaps coming up. And we'll try to land in the middle, or stop in the middle. How do you know where the middle is? There it is. Alright, reversers disengaged. Pay attention, turtle. Slam on the parking brake. Turn everything off so that we get credit for the leg. Hop outside. Look around while that prop is still spinning. Because once that prop stops, then we'll get our credit for the leg. Alrighty, look at that. There's a little cliff here. A little ridge, and it drops down into more of the city. That is super cool. But anyway, alright, give me credit for leg 7, please. And there it is. Alrighty, that's the end for this video. Make sure you're subscribed, notifications turned on, so you see the next legs in the next video for this bush trip. Hit the like button so people know we exist, and I'll see you for leg 8 next time.